2, 3, 4. Brighten the corner where you are. Brighten the corner where you are. Someone far from the harbor you may guide across the bar. Brighten the corner where you are. Good evening and welcome to the Postmark Jamboree. Welcome to the West La Follette Community Center in La Follette, Tennessee. Postmark La Follette, in conjunction with WLAF Radio, presents the Postmark Jamboree. We have a full show lined up for you tonight. We'll be featuring original music stylings and some original songs from Tony Thomas. We have a poetry triple threat, some great songs from our house band special delivery, and our bases made for radio players Olivia Robbins and Kathy Conrad. But wait, that's not all. We have a quadruple threat of young talent with us tonight. The Roberts sisters were with us on our first show and are back tonight. And we have a young lady bringing her wonderful voice and some original songs, Miss Lacey Gross. And we have part 3 of our continuing murder mystery serial, Shadow of a Doubt. Through the generous efforts of our sponsors, including Postmark La Follette, WLAF Radio, the Tennessee Arts Commission, the City of La Follette, Community Trust Bank, United Cumberland Bank, and Tennessee State Senator Ken Yeager, the Postmark Jamboree will be coming to you live every third Saturday evening of the month. So tune in to WLAF 1450 AM radio, WLAF FM 100.9 radio. Watch us on local Comcast Channel 12, also on WLAF's video stream on YouTube, or come and be part of our live audience. Welcome to the Postmark Jamboree. I met this next young man about 25 years ago when I was playing in a band with his nephew. Tony was an amazing musician and singer then and has only gotten better with time. How about a great big welcome for Tony Thomas?
Thank you, Tony. It's good to be in Campbell County, and I've been here many times before, played a lot of music up in these hills. But it's good to be here, good to see everybody, sure is. Oh, when I dream, I'll dream of you. You have made my dreams come true. I'll hold you close my whole life through. And when I dream, I'll dream of you. You came into my lonely life, for you were meant to be my wife. You gave me love so sweet and true. Now when I dream of you. When I dream of you. You have made my dreams come true. I'll hold you close my whole life through. And when I dream, I'll dream of you. I'll hold you ever in my heart till it comes our time to part. Should I go first beyond the blue, up there I'll wait and dream of you. Oh, when I dream of you, for you have made my dreams come true. I'll hold you close my whole life through. When I dream, I'll dream of you. Oh, when I dream of you. All right, that's one of my originals there. wrote that about my sweetheart, that little gray-haired lady that I wake up with every day. She's from Bruce's Gap. We got married in Duff, Tennessee. Brother Harold Branham back there, he videoed us getting married up there at Bob's store. You remember that, Harold? All right. Anyway, I'll tell you one thing about her. She's a dandy. Best wife I've ever had. We had to do our best. We were marching up to Georgia. We were coming to the test. There was boys carrying muskets, some just 12 years old. In my mind's eye, I knew that they never would go home. Oh Lord, it was raining far, the dead fell at our feet, and the devil bought us hell on earth at Chickamauga Creek. It was brother against brother on that cool September day. Well, I didn't know the carnage until the smoke had cleared away. The wounded cried in agony, the dead were lying deep, and the stream it ran crimson red at Chickamauga Creek. Oh Lord, it was raining far, the dead fell at our feet. The devil bought us hell on earth at Chickamauga Creek. That's been many years now since those battle lines were drawn. They say we won the battle, but the dogs of it lives on. I see their faces, hear their cries when I lay down to sleep. I never will forget the day at Chickamauga Creek. Oh Lord, it was raining far, the dead fell at our feet. The devil bought us hell on earth at Chickamauga Creek. Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Back when I was going around, just a young boy there in Anderson County was an old-time banjo player. His name was Joe Johnson. Joe Johnson was a kind of an unusual man, but a great old-time banjo player, and I got to know him a little bit. And they used to, back when I was growing up, they'd dig these big pits in the ground, they'd store their potatoes for wintertime. Well, Joe Johnson liked one of those pits so good he built him a house down inside that potato hole, and he became known as Tater Hole Joe, and he was an old-time banjo player. Sang the story of Tater Hole Joe. Now Tater Hole Joe was a friend of mine, and he lived next to the railroad line. Here a place we call Marlowe, everybody knew old Tater Hole Joe. Tater Hole Joe, he'd pick and sing, how he'd make that banjo ring. He lived in the ground just like a mole, that's why we called him Tater Hole Joe. Now Tater Hole Joe was a banjo man. He liked to pick with a fiddle band. He kept the time when the fiddler bowed. Everybody loved old Tater Hole Joe. Tater Hole Joe, he'd pick and sing, how he'd make that banjo ring. Lived in the ground just like a mole. That's why we call him Tater Hole Joe. When he sang about a gold mine in the sky, place he was gonna go when he died, place where all good pickers go, so goes the story of Tater Hole Joe. Tater Hole Joe, he'd pick and sing, how he'd make his banjo ring. Lived in the ground just like a mole, that's why we call him Tater Hole Joe. Well, he never had fortune, he never had fame, but the good Lord loved him just the same. So we'll sing one last refrain for old Tater Hole Joe. Tater Hole Joe, he'd pick and sing, how he'd make that banjo ring. Lived in the ground just like a mole, that's why we called him Tater Hole Joe. story. Thank you. Thank you very much. True story about Mr. Taylor Old Joe Johnson.
Let me plug in a commercial for you, Tony.
All righty, buddy.
Tony's got some books with him tonight and also some CDs. I believe he said earlier when we were talking that he's recorded about 25 different albums. Well, this one I know has a bunch of his original songs on it. So he's got some of these with him tonight. If you want to pick one up from him, they'll be out here right after our show. Go ahead.
I also write a lot of Christian songs too. I'm a born-again believer. I know that Jesus is the Savior of all mankind if they choose for him to be. That's the way I believe. This is a Christian song I wrote, kind of a Christian song, but it's a true story. And it's about a couple that I knew for a while. It's called When the Roses Bloom in Heaven. Standing by her bedside as he held her withered hand. Through all the long hard years he had been her only man. Now the time had come for her to go. She whispered, I love you. When the roses bloom in heaven, I'll be waiting there for you. When the roses bloom in heaven, I'll be waiting there for you in God's garden of Eden. He prepared for me and you. When you cross old chilly Jordan, beyond the shadows deep and blue, when the roses bloom in heaven, I'll be waiting there for you. Made their life together, although the times were often hard, but they done their best for Jesus to gain their just reward. Now the time had come to say goodbye. She whispered, I love you. When the roses bloom in heaven, I'll be waiting there for you. When the roses bloom in heaven, I'll be waiting there for you in God's garden of Eden. He prepared for me and you. When you cross old chilly Jordan, beyond the shadows deep and blue, when the roses bloom in heaven, I'll be waiting there for you. When the roses bloom in heaven, I'll be waiting there for you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
I believe you can squeeze in one more song, can't you?
Yeah, we'll do you a short one here. I'm a very big fan of old-time music, too. And there's a lot of singers and recording artists that I truly love. And one way before my time that I enjoyed her music and her songs that she wrote, a great guitar player and a great songwriter. Her name was Elizabeth Cotton. I'll do you a little bit of one of her big songs, one called Freight Train. Freight train, going so fast. Freight train, going so fast. Please don't tell what train I'm on, so she won't know where I'm going. One more place that I'd like to be. One more place I long to see them old Blue Ridge mountains climb. When I ride old
Tony. He'll be back in our second hour. This portion of our show is brought to you by Cat. That's dog food for cats. Did you ever notice how your cat cannot stay away from your dog's food bowl?
Meow.
George, honey, Fluffy is not eating her cat food again. Do you think she's ill?
Oh, she's fine, Madge. She was just in the kitchen just a minute ago, eating from Goliath's bowl.
Meow.
Oof. I think she'd rather eat the dog's food than that expensive cat food you buy for her.
Meow.
Did you ever wonder if your cat knows something you don't?
Meow.
I mean, besides the secrets of teleportation and interdimensional time travel,
Meow.
just what temptation does that cat see in the dog's food bowl that you can't see? Wait, don't get down on your hands and knees and taste it for yourself.
Meow.
Just get your cat, the dog food for cats.
Meow.
Your cat will love it. No more finicky. Genuine dog food smells and textures in an imitation dog food can so your cat can't tell the difference.
Meow.
That's Cat, the dog food for cats. Just look for it in the pet food aisle at your favorite store. Remember, look for the imitation dog food can in the cat food section. Careful, it might even fool you.
Meow.
Postmark Jamboree is brought to you in part by Postmark La Follette. Postmark La Follette is collaborating with the city of La Follette to turn the former post office building into an arts, cultural, and history center for all of Campbell County to enjoy. The historic post office building is currently under renovation, and within the next few months, we hope to be able to move the Postmark Jamboree back into the facility. Shout out the first word that pops in your head when I say musical instrument. How many of you said ocarina? Well, after tonight, I think you'll have a better appreciation for this little instrument with the big history and even bigger, beautiful sound. Sean Mannis brings us tonight's featured musical instrument, the ocarina. Trust me, you are about to be amazed.
Let's not set the bar too high.
Isn't that a cool instrument? You don't hear those a lot, but it sure is pretty. We have settled on the name of our fabulous house band. They are now called Special Delivery. Give them a hand. Aren't they great? We're going to call on them to join in with us now with Miss Olivia Robbins from our Faces Made for Radio Players and do a couple of songs. Miss Olivia Robbins.
Crazy for feeling so lonely. I'm crazy, crazy for feeling so blue. I knew you'd love me as long as you wanted, and then someday you'd leave me for somebody new. Worry, why do I let myself worry? Wondering what in the world did I do? Crazy for thinking that my love could hold you. I'm crazy for trying, crazy for crying, and I'm crazy for loving you. Crazy for thinking that my love could hold you. I'm crazy for trying, crazy for crying, and I'm crazy for loving you.
All right, now we're going to do another Patsy Cline song, and we were kind of going to do a tribute to Patsy Cline, but it's a little quiet here, so next song we're going to do is a little fast, so we hope you enjoy it. But now we're going to do another Patsy Cline, and if you're like me, I enjoy her music because there's so much emotion in her voice, and to me, what is music without the emotion? So here we go. If the boys are ready, we're going to sing another one.
I go out walking after midnight, out in the moonlight, just like we used to do. I'm always walking after midnight, searching for you. I walk for miles along the highway. Well, that's just my way of saying I love you. I'm always walking after midnight, searching for you. I stopped to see a weeping willow crying on his pillow, and maybe he's crying for me. And as the skies turn gloomy, night winds whisper
about a big hand for the poetry of David Brubaker?
Hi, great to be back. Thanks. I'm going to start off with a humorous poem I wrote a while back. This is called Dad, Where Did I Come From? My boy and I were on the couch. It was Sunday afternoon. We were watching football, and it was none too soon. Outside the door, we hung a sign that said, "Girls are not allowed." We had all our munchies. We'll watch all the games, we vowed. We settled in and found our team. Our Titans were underway. Mariota threw a touchdown pass. Wow, it couldn't be a better day. Dad, where did I come from? I spilled my Coke and chips. Out came a burger bite, landing in the cheese dip. I looked around for his mom, even his older sister too, but they knew the Sunday routine. Now what was I to do? Why would a 12-year-old ask about the facts of life in the middle of a game without my daughter or my wife? Years ago, your mom and I were watching the Packers play. Favre threw a touchdown pass while we were cheering all the way. I explained the best I could and told your mom we need a son. She thought it was a good idea to help me enjoy my football fun. And so I threw her a forward pass. Then she was on her way. She would score a touchdown. I got to spike the ball that day. It was 9 months later, just before football was to begin. You arrived in the world, and you are my favorite win. Thanks, Daddy said and smiled, and he grabbed a sandwich off the tray. Mariota threw another touchdown pass. It's another great football day. This second poem is kind of short. This is a play on words. It's called C-S-E-E, Sea Music, and it's about somebody standing on a shoreline. The ocean swayed hypnotically as it practiced on the shore, a steady rhythm calling out. Foam touched the sand once more. Lured by a pervasive grasp, this melancholy sound enveloped my entire being. It was the music I had found. Back and forth the movement's rush was measured as it played. Release your cares, it seemed to say. I hear and see as music swayed. My senses joined together and we danced upon the beach. My hand extended forward, but the sounds were out of reach. A calm soon settled over me. I could finally see everything would be all right. I heard the music of the sea. Okay, this one here is kind of another humorous one. It's called Senior Moments. I remember when we first met, but can't remember what we ate. Both of us were starstruck, thanking destiny and fate. Now that many years have passed, I can't remember what I just ate, but I'm still starstruck. Was it destiny or fate? There are times our paths will cross in the living room or hall, a simple nod or gesture, and I say, "You're my baby doll." We still laugh and sometimes hard, and one of us will fart. Then we laugh all the harder. It's too late once we start. You help me with the dishes and I help you fold the clothes. I hope we put everything away. I'm sure neither one of us knows. Remembering favorite TV programs won't matter anyway. We have lost the remote control, so we'll watch the birds that day. I'll always have my favorite time when I'm hiding down the hall and you want to clean the house and I ignore you when you call. For all the things that we misplace and notes on the refrigerator, look inside for all that's lost. If not, we'll find it later. Maybe one day you'll have a walker and I have to tighten my depends, but we still have each other and share the love a touch will send. And so we grow old together, eternity's in our hearts. We know our love will never end. We're the sum of all our parts. Okay, this was kind of long. I like to do a lot of nature writing, and my wife's heavily into the arts and so forth, and Sometimes that influences me a little bit when I want to write something, especially about nature. This is called seasonal paintings. It's about each season that submitted a painting, and we're going to try to find out who won. It just so happened, a season said, why don't we paint a scene? Choosing one from our time of year, selecting our specific theme. Wonderful, they all agreed, but who will judge each one we paint? There will be 4 entries. Can we find someone so quaint? They discussed the clouds. No, they would evaporate. How about the water? No, they share the same fate. What about the rocks? No, they can't move around. To see each season's beauty, they can't tell us what they found. Then a season said, the wind. He's always been around. Though we cannot see him, we'll know him by his sound. Excellent, let us proceed. And to the wind we will entrust, each one of us a painting from the very best of us. The wind agreed to be the judge, and one painting from each season, to give them a decision based upon his reason. It was decided that spring would start, everything was new and fresh. Perhaps the wind would tell the others if spring could pass the test. Soon the buds were blooming, pollen in the air, birds were dropping seeds, plants were growing without care. Eventually the day had come when everything was just right, a masterful display of beauty just after morning light. Next it was summer's turn. By now some areas were sparse. Summer started to contend, is this painting thing a farce? But as he thought about it, he knew there would be rain. Buds and blooms began to grow. The sparseness was not in vain. The rain passed through, much obliged to help in any way. Summer quickly made the choice shortly after the rainy day. 2 had passed, 2 to go, fall was in the air. He knew there would be a little effort because the tree's colorful affair. The orange, pinks, and yellows, bright reds, just like a fire, painted such a picture. This is what the judge would desire. Last but not least, the winter. Mostly had white on display. It seemed an easy painting, winter knew no other way. Still, in snow there was a beauty, an unbroken blanket on the ground. Trees and rocks were covered, a silent, cold oasis the wind had found. And so the entries were in. Each season was sure they had won. The wind said he had a winner. His judgment was now done. For all of you, it was a tie. The seasons were aghast. Please let me explain. This is how the die was cast. If there was no wind to officiate the seasons every year, to help the birds and pollen, which helps the plants appear, to bring in the clouds and dust the summer rain, renewing all the sparseness, I hope this helps as I explain. And for the fall's foliage, sometimes I must refrain from blowing off all the leaves, leaving all the branches plain. Lastly, there's the winter, where I mostly swirl around, helping to carve and sculpture the painting that you found. The seasons had now understood. The wind had helped them all along. It didn't change the outcome. They continued painting all season long.
Thank you. Thank you, David. Some words of wisdom there. Are you hungry? Don't neglect our very own kitchen fare tonight. Here's something guaranteed to make you crave a dessert. How about a hand for another of our faces made for radio players, Kathy Conrad, and this month's Grandma's Recipe.
Hello. And so what you want to do is grab a pen and paper. We have another recipe for you from Grandma's Recipe Box, and it's for homemade apple butter. So equipment-wise, what you'll need is an 8-quart pan, a food mill, 8-cup measuring cup that pours a pitcher, 6 to 8 8-ounce canning jars with your lids. For ingredients, you'll need 4 pounds of apples. They can be Granny Smith or Galveston apples. And you will need 1 cup of apple cider vinegar, 2 cups of water, about 4 cups of sugar, salt, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, half a teaspoon of ground cloves, half a teaspoon of allspice, and grated rind and juice of a lemon. Prep time is about 20 minutes. Complete cook time is about 2 hours. So the steps to make it is cut your apples into quarters, no peeling or coring the apples. Cook that about 20 minutes until they're soft. Then that's where the food meal comes in. You'll want to take your apple mixture and put it through the food meal, adding your spices. Half a cup of sugar for each cup of apple pulp. Stir to dissolve. You add your dash of salt, cinnamon, ground cloves, allspice, lemon rind, and juice, and adjust that for your taste. Now, the second stage for apple butter. You can either do it on the stovetop or a shortcut in the microwave. On the stovetop, you'll need a thick, wide bottom pan, 1 to 2 hours, stirring often to prevent burning. Or as a shortcut, you can put that in a big bowl uncovered in the microwave for 30 minutes, but you'll on medium heat, and you'll need to make sure you're monitoring the cooking every 5 to 10 minutes. For your canning, make sure you either run cans under your short cycle in your dishwasher to heat them up, or in a large pot, 12 quart. You can put them in boiling water on a steaming rack to heat them up. And you'll pour your mixture in, add your jars, and seal. And you have your own homemade apple butter.
Cool.
And I just want to mention, if y'all have any recipes or anything that you want to share, send those to MissDancer1@yahoo.com. That's MissDancer1@yahoo.com.
Kathy's going to hang out here on stage with us and give us a couple of songs. Let's welcome Kathy Conrad and Special Delivery.
Back through the years I go wandering once again, back through the seasons of my youth, and I recall the box of rags someone gave us, and how Mama put the rags to use. There were rags of many colors, every piece was small, and I didn't have a coat, it was way down in the fall. Mama sewed the rags together, sewing every piece with love. She made my coat of many colors, I was so proud of. And as she sewed, she told the story from the Bible she had read, about a coat of many colors Joseph wore. And then she said, I hope this coat will bring you much joy and happiness. No, I couldn't wait to wear it, Mama, but stay with the kids. My coat of many colors that my mama made for me, made only from rags, but I wore it so proudly. Although we had no money, I was rich as I could be, in my coat of many colors my mama made for me. And so with patches on my breeches and holes in both my shoes, and my coat of many colors, I hurried off to school, just to find the others laughing and making fun of me. And my coat of many colors my mama made for me. And no, I didn't understand it, for I felt I was rich, and I told them all the love Mama sewed in every stitch. I told them all the story Mama told me while she sewed, and how my coat of many colors was worth more than all your clothes. They didn't understand it though I tried to make them see. One is only poor, only if they choose to be. Although we had no money, I was rich as I could be, in my coat of many colors my mama made for me. You know a dream is like a river, ever changing as it flows, and a dreamer's just a vessel that must follow where it goes, trying to learn
and I will sail my vessel till the river runs dry. Like a bird upon the wind, these waters are my sky. I'll never reach my destination if I never try, so I will sail my vessel till the river runs dry. Too many times we stand aside, let the water slip away. What we put on till tomorrow has now become today. So don't you stand upon the shoreline and say you're satisfied. Choose to chance the rapids and dare to dance the tides. And I will sail my vessel till the river runs dry. Like a bird upon the wind, these waters are my sky. I'll never reach my destination if I never try, so I will sail my vessel till the river runs dry. There's bound to be rough waters, I know I'll take some falls. With the good Lord as my path, I will make it through them all. I will sail my vessel till the river runs dry. Like a bird upon the wind, these waters are my sky. I'll never reach my destination if I never try, so I will sail my vessel till the river runs dry. Lord, I will sail my vessel till the river runs dry.
Thank you, Kathy Conrad and Special Delivery. During the past 2 months, we've been delving deep into the mystery murder case brought to us by a private investigator by the name of Shadow. He came to us looking for some hot leads on his current case, and I thought that our audience, could help him out. As he reviews his case for us tonight, if you think you have a hot tip, a good lead, or some insight into the case, we want to hear from you. Our audience last month gave us some great tips and strategies, and we will speak live on the air with you shortly. But since we are live on the air and can only accept a few tips, first come, first serve. So Shadow, where are you on your case tonight?
Well, I'll tell you. It's a cosmic irony that we live in. We want truth from others, but we keep it for ourselves. If everyone opened their mouths and spewed the unbridled truth, society would collapse in a bitter fireball. So we invented the idea of white lies, fact traded in for fiction. And we tell ourselves we're doing someone else a favor. Self-preservation, that's all it is. Because secrets are security, life's little trump cards. The more you hold, the more you have to play. And Joey Straight-Lace may try to live his life in the light, but the fact is, darkness is our natural habitat. The more shrouded we are, the more comfortable we become. Prying truth from an unwilling mug is like exhuming a sarcophagus. You have to be willing to get dirty, and once you've pried that lid off, your reward is a rancid stench. Faint-hearted need not apply. And when it comes to grave-robbing facts, you need the proper tools. Well, sometimes I'm methodical, patient. Sometimes I bring a jackhammer to the party. But a true archaeologist would be a man like Dr. Sloan Leeper. If anyone's plundered the Carmichael fossils, it'd be him, their marriage therapist. See, the Carmichaels seem to be living the high life. Gated community, lavish home, no rugrats underfoot. Then Monty took a dirt nap, and the skeletons in their closet started to rattle. Now the cops are snooping around Fifth National Bank, his old workplace. And his wife, Electra, is sitting in the hot seat with all the evidence piled against her higher than Kilimanjaro. If she's going to avoid a round on the 2,000-volt lazy boy, I'm going to need answers fast. I couldn't think of anyone who'd have better insight than the shrink they were seeing. So I followed the address on the card, and it brought me to an unmarked brick building downtown. The windows were covered in blinds. The glass door was tinted dark. It was subtle. The entire building easy to miss. is nestled between a barber shop and a deli. I imagined it wasn't the typical digs for a high-profile psychiatrist, but he gets a pass. The clientele probably appreciated the discretion. Inside was another story. Smooth linoleum floor in riveted gray with stark white walls and plastic chairs seemed more at home in a sanitarium. A sleek desk sat in a corner, tended by an overpaid receptionist. My arrival barely warranted a break from her nail file.
Help you?
I'm here to see the doctor.
Name?
Shadow. That finally got her attention. As she checked her laptop, I noticed the giant of a Mediterranean man seated in the waiting area. A newspaper was folded in his hands, and his eyes were focused on me.
I don't have you scheduled today. Would you like me to make an appointment?
Yeah. How's the immediate sound?
You can see you tomorrow.
She was gonna give me the runaround. I started for the only other door in the lobby, the gateway to the promised land. She was quick to protest, but lacked the conviction to stop me.
Sir, you can't go in there.
There's a woman already staring down the business end of a steel barrel, and behind this door is the only testimony that might jam up the works.
Can I help you?
His office was sparse and bland, but he wore the wealth of his trade like the emperor in his new clothes. A three-piece suit, a silk tie, a haircut that cost more than I'd make solving this case. He was either the real deal or the best shyster in the business. It was time to find out which one. You Dr. Leeper?
According to my license.
Doctor, I'm so sorry he ran right past me.
I prefer to say walked with purpose.
I see. Please attend the front. Hugo.
I looked back to see the massive man standing inches behind me with a snarl.
Please show our guest out.
I'm here on behalf of Electra Carmichael. She's about to be pinched for murder, and you're the best shot she has at a character witness. So do you want to be trotted out in court, or would you rather have Sasquatch take a hike and let you and me have a sit-down?
The Carmichaels. All right, I'll humor you. It's fine, Hugo. I don't believe I caught your name, Detective.
Call me Shadow. I ain't no gumshoe. Electra hired me to prove her innocence.
Ah, yes. It's very tragic what happened. But everyone believes it was her, don't they?
People drink whatever Kool-Aid the media serves up. I'm looking for the uncut truth.
A respectable pursuit, and one I wish I could help you with. But I'm afraid my dealings with clients are strictly confidential, unless court-ordered. I'm sorry you wasted your time.
Nah, that's what I figured. But I know a professional such as yourself is required to report a client who intends to cause harm. You didn't do that, did you? Now, that seems to me like you're a man who's looked crazy in the eye enough to know danger when he sees it. So that tells me that Electra didn't give you enough reason to toss up the flag. So either you got it wrong, or there's more to this story.
Very clever, Mr. Shadow. You are correct, of course. She gave no indications of intent to cause harm, but it still prevents me from disclosing any details regarding our sessions. However,
as he spoke, the doctor tapped a metronome on his desk. The pendulum began a steady, rhythmic ticking.
I find the name you've chosen for yourself very interesting. Are you familiar with the work of Dr. Carl Jung? Brilliant man, the founder of analytical psychology. He believed there exists a psyche inside each of us, different from our conscious persona, a dark side, the shadow. In some cases, it can be positive. For instance, the shadow of a person with crippling anxiety may be more bold or direct, but so often the shadow represents the negative, the thing we repress. Though we may wish to deny it, the shadow is in fact part of who we are, the secret self. And Jung once wrote, "The less it is embodied in the individual's conscious life, the blacker and denser it is."
Meaning, the stronger it becomes?
So to speak. Like it or not, at some point in our lives, we all might encounter the shadow within. When that happens, either we fall prey to it and our conscious self becomes slave to the untethered darkness, or we confront and acknowledge it.
What does that mean, to confront and acknowledge?
Different things for different people. For some, it means taking the first genuine look in the mirror and accepting themselves for who they are. For others, it could mean careful indulgences.
And so it's possible Electra had one of these encounters.
Through the course of therapy, yes. The objective is to break through the persona and address the deep-rooted issues. certainly possible that through our session she found something about herself she'd been denying.
So you're saying that she had some sort of existential crisis and murdered her husband?
I'm saying there's a darkness in each of us, Mr. Shadow. In the words of Jung, even a happy life cannot be without a measure of darkness. And just as in therapy, if you want to see the shadow, you have to look past the persona.
The persona being?
The mask we wear to function in society, to hide the shadows, to fit in.
Ah, I hear you. Thanks for your time, Doc. But one more question.
Yes?
Why the metronome?
Music soothes the savage beast, Mr. Shadow. Now, if you'd like to schedule an appointment, I believe we'd have a lot to talk about.
I'll save you the trouble, Doc. I'm already a slave to the darkness. I tipped my hat to Hugo on my way out of the building. Checking my phone, I found a text from Ace. He had details on the case, and Nellie finished the research I'd asked her to look into. On my way back to my car, I spotted that green Ferrari pulling a slow cruise by. The tinted windows kept me from looking in, and the traffic was too packed. I couldn't get a read on the plates. But that car was living rent-free in my head as I made my way back to my office.
Welcome back, Shadow. Hey, Ace, he's here. How'd it go? Did he have you lay on the couch and talk about your feelings? I'd have paid to see that.
You would have asked for a refund.
Shadow, good timing. I just got back from my talk with the detective.
I'm all ears.
Well, Monty Carmichael and his boss weren't on great terms. He was a little too quick to authorize loans, but what made it worth investigating was one of the approved applicants, Polly Neiman.
What's her rap? Larceny? Fraud?
She's 12.
They get younger every year.
On top of that, he took out a hefty life insurance policy on himself just before the murder.
Huh. Nellie?
Well, when you asked me to research the average income of a loan officer, I thought I was going to have to look for a new job. If someone calls about a resume on Monster, just ignore it. But your average median salary for a loan officer is about $76,000 and lower by about 20 grand in this area.
Really? Well, there's no way he could have afforded the fancy things we saw.
Exactly. So we've got heavy loan approvals, dummy applicants, and disproportionate wealth. I smell a money laundering scheme. No doubt the more the HCPD looks into this, the more shell accounts they'll find attached to his loans. And the insurance policy tells me that Monty knew things were about to go bad.
How does Electra tie in, though?
Well, it sounds like they're letting Electra dangle and see what bites. And almost every tip I've gotten says to keep an eye on her. She's up to something. My talk with Dr. Leeper seemed to corroborate. We need to get a look at her when her guard is down.
There's a costume party coming up. She's expected to attend.
Perfect. That's our opportunity. This office used to belong to Electric Burgerloo, and the mascot suits are still here. We'll go disguised.
We? You don't seriously need all three of us, do you?
I've never been more serious about anything before in my life. I need all hands on deck on this one. We've got a party to crash.
Do we have any tips for Mr. Shadow to investigate before next month rolls around? What do you think he should be looking into next?
What do you think of Dr. Leeper?
I think he's creepy.
Anyone have any other takes on that? Don't be shy, that's why I'm here.
Did he get a loan?
Did he get a loan? That's an interesting thought. Something that would be easy to follow up on. If he had a loan from Monty, then that would certainly establish a connection prior to them being seen as his therapist or as his client. Anyone else? What do you think of the green Ferrari? That's the second time I've seen it. Is it worth looking into? Is it a coincidence?
You see them all the time around the Fallen.
Maybe I ought to move.
Let's give our Faces Made for Radio players a big hand. That brings us to the end of our first hour for tonight's show. Let's have our special delivery band play us out here for a minute. WLAF Radio and Postmark Jamboree. We're welcoming back Tony Thomas back to the stage. Let's give him another big hand.
Thank you, Tony. Good to be back. The years creep slowly by, Lorena. The sun's low down the sky again. The frost is on the ground, Lorena. The snow lies where the flowers have been. But the heart beats on as warmly now as when the summer days were nigh. The sun would never dip so low to down affection's cloudy sky. We loved each other then, Lorena, more than we ever dared to tell. And what we might have been, Lorena, had but loving prospered well. 100 months was very May. When up the distant hill we climbed to watch the dying of the day and hear the distant church bells chime. Thank you. Thank you. That one goes back a few days. It's from the Civil War. It's called Lorena. Both sides, the North and South, both sang that song. It's a very beautiful ballad, I think. My granny was a little Irish lady, and she was born and raised around Anderson County. And my grandfather, he came from Campbell County, and he was almost full Cherokee. Needless to say, my granny was an old Indian fighter. I want to do you a Scots-Irish here, one I like real good. Oh, the summertime is coming, and the trees are sweetly blooming, and the wild mountain thyme blooms around the purple heather. Will you go, lassie, go? If you will not go with me, surely there will be another to go wild mountain thyme all around the burning heathers. Will you go, lassie, go? I'll build my love a bower by Anne's crystal running fountain, and upon it I will plant the sweetest flowers of the mountain. Will you go, lassie, go? Oh, the summertime is coming, and the trees are sweetly blooming,
for a second, Tony.
Yes, sir, buddy.
Get you to tell a little bit more history of your background. Many years ago, in the 60s and maybe even the late 50s and on into the 70s, there was a live radio broadcast here in La Follette called the Tennessee Jamboree, and I believe you actually played on that show.
I played on it. Elmer Longmore was the host the times that I was here, and I was here in the late 60s through the 70s.
If you,
Elmer was DJ there.
Yep,
The radio station.
WLA,
Played my
yep.
records up there. My first records got our play up there.
if you're interested in some good history on the Tennessee Jamboree, go to YouTube and look it up. There's a nice video on there that gives you a real good background of the musicians, and you may even see some faces that you know
Right.
there. Go ahead.
I've worked with lots of musicians from Campbell County. God bless them. I'm telling you what, they're good people. They put up with me. I'm telling you, there's some great musicians come out of this country. I worked with, how many knows Brother Red Harris? All right. I was with him many years at the Museum of Appalachia. I put up almost 20 years up there. And I'm with Ciderville Music. I've been there for 5 years now. I'm a teacher over there and a salesperson too. So come and see us. Best deals in the country on Martin guitar. Ciderville Music. Throw a little commercial.
There you go.
Clinton Highway. 25W between Knoxville and Clinton. And we'll treat you so good in so many ways. You're bound to like some of them. Wish I was down on some blue bayou. The bamboo pole stuck in the sand. But this road I'm on don't seem to go nowhere. So I'll just dream and keep on being the way I am. Wish I enjoyed what makes my living. Each I do with willing hand. Oh, some may run, but I'm not like that. So I'll just dream and keep on being the way I am. The way I am won't free my shackles. The way I am, reality. I can almost see that bird dancing. So I'll just dream and keep on being the way I am. I'll just dream and keep on being the way I am. I was thinking, I had to go over to Merle Haggard. I'm a big Merle Haggard fan. I bet you guys are too. Great band here, by the way. I want to do you something. Let's see if I got time for one more.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. My grandma taught me a lot about life, and she taught me a lot about singing. She was the best singer I ever heard. And she kind of spoiled me rotten when I was a kid. I spent more time, Tony, with Benny than I did at home. I do a song I wrote back then. It's called Grandma's Song. Oh, the wonderful memories. When I was just a young boy, now well I do recall how my grandma played the wild birds in her yard. She held a special kind of love for every living thing, although the long hard years had left her tired. She leaned back in her easy chair on the corner of the porch. and a place where nobody died. Now my grandma's songs have been sung many, many years. Oh, but I still hold her memory in my heart. And the words of wisdom that she spoke still hold true today. And when we meet again, we never know. She told me of a man, his name was Jesus, who lived in the land of the sky, a place where no one will ever go, a place where no man will die, a place where no man will die. Thank you. Might as well do a little bit of one of my Granny and Ernie since I've been
Go
gone.
for it.
Granny and Ernie made a lot of songs, old folk songs, and a lot of hymns. I'm just a boy waiting I'm a dream. This world won't. There'll be no sickness to hurt you. In that bright land which I go, I'm going there to see my mother. Going there, no more home. I'm just going I'm just going home. I know dark clouds may have rolled me, and my way is steep, but golden fields lie before me, where weary eyes going there to see my Savior, who shed his precious blood for me. I'm just going over Jordan. I'm just I'm going there to see my Savior. Going there, no more to roam. I'm just going over Jordan. I'm just going I'm just going Thank y'all. God bless you.
Ronnie Thomas,
Great
thank you.
band, buddy. I'm telling you, that's some good digging, man. That's great.
Good job. This portion of our show is brought to you by Dog Cat Food for Dogs. Did you ever notice how your dog cannot stay away from your cat's food bowl?
Oh?
George, honey, Goliath is not eating his dog food again. Do you think he's ill?
Oh, he's fine, Madge. He was just in the kitchen just a minute ago, eating from Fluffy's bowl. Meow. I think he would rather eat the cat's food than that expensive dog food you buy for him.
Did you ever wonder if your dog knows something you don't?
Oh?
I mean, besides the ability to hide your shoes where you can only find one per week, and knowing someone is outside before they ring the bell?
Oh?
Just what temptation does dogs see in the cat's food bowl that you can't see? Wait, don't get down on your hands and knees and taste it for yourself.
Meow.
Just get your dog, the cat food for dogs.
Oh?
Your dog will love it. No more stinky day-old food laying around. Genuine cat food smells and textures in an imitation cat food can so your dog can't tell the difference.
Mm-hmm.
That's Dog, the cat food for dogs. Just look for it in the pet food aisle at your favorite store. Remember, look for the imitation cat food can in the dog food section. Careful, it might fool even you.
Meow. Meow.
The Postmark Jamboree is brought to you in a collaborative effort between Postmark La Follette and WLAF AM and FM radio. The October Postmark Jamboree will be on October the 20th, so make plans to attend or tune in. Follow Postmark La Follette and Postmark Jamboree on social media for upcoming event information details, and I have a quick update on the UT football game. It's not looking good. Florida 23, Tennessee 3. We here at Postmark Jamboree want to make a place where all artists can perform, and we especially want to encourage our talented young people. You're in for a treat tonight. Lacey Gross is a very talented and original young lady that not only has a great voice but also writes some terrific songs. Let's welcome her here tonight, Miss Lacey Gross.
I saw something between you and me. Now you're gone, I know that I was wrong, but that's what I say seriously. And now you've lost your angel. What do you do when you feel alone? And now you've lost your heaven. Don't you know that heaven's the only place to go? I won't deny what I've done. You get so close and I just run. I feel you here, though you made it crystal clear. When I see the moon, you see the sun. And now you Charles, and this is another one I wrote called Don't Say. Don't say you love me. Don't say you won't let it go. 'Cause you will leave me lonely. And it hurts, but I already know. Don't say it's not temporary. Don't you say you won't leave me cold. 'Cause it feels like temporary. And just keep the slow. Oh, tell me what happened to make you want to run. Oh, tell me what can I do? 'Cause all I want is you. Don't say you'll never move on. Don't you say that I'm your missing piece. Don't say that I make you strong. Oh, 'cause I will just make you weak. Don't say that I make you smile. Don't say that I've got this all wrong. Don't you say, please don't cry while you're telling me goodbye. That will make this much more so long. Oh, tell me what have you done? We played the game and you already won. Oh, tell me what can you do when you're the one that I'm about to lose? Oh, tell me where did we land? Can we just stop playing pretend? Oh, tell me, can you leave? 'Cause you are killing me. 'Cause your love is killing me. No one said that I was ever gonna lose you. No one said that it was always confusing when you left. No one warned me then. I cried hard, and I would be the only one to know it all. And you won't admit that it's true. Yes,
I don't know about you, but I think I'm ready to shell out some money for that first album myself. Got one more for us, Lacey?
I got one more for you. This one's kind of religious. It's called Calm the Chaos.
Lacey Gross and John Edwards on the keyboard. Nice. Very good. We here at Postmark Jamboree want to slow down for just a minute and harken back to a time when there was no eBay. eBay has not always existed. No Amazon. All we had was a radio and the Town Trader Show. Hello, you're on the phone with the Town Trader. Are you looking to buy, sell, or trade today?
Hey, y'all, I have some chickens to sell. They're real good egg layers, and I'll sell them as singles or all 14 at once, and y'all can call me at 778-1437.
Thank you. That was chickens for sale at 778-1437. Next caller, you're on the air with the Town Trader. Are you looking to buy, sell, or trade today?
I have some used tires for sale, maybe trade, truck tires. I got them about 12,000 miles on them, lots of tread left. They're 21.5, 85 R16s. I'm asking about $300 for them. My number is 778-5535. Now, I also have a horse for sale, okay? She's a good pack horse, maybe a riding horse. She's getting on a little in age at 23, but she's still spry. Now, I'm asking about $750 on her. Excuse me, someone has done drove through my fence and into my pasture. I gotta go.
Well, I sure hope everything is okay with that caller. That was truck tires for sale or trade and a horse for sale at 778-5535. Hello, you're on the air with the Town Trader. Are you looking to buy, sell, or trade today?
I ain't got nothing to sell, but I was hoping you could maybe help me out. Someone's done stole my truck. Can you get your listeners to keep an eye out for it?
Sir, that sounds like a matter for the police. Did you give them a call yet?
Yes, but I was listening to your show and thought it might be helpful if everyone listening out there in radio land could just keep an eye out for my truck. It ain't been long gone. Someone might see it and call in and I could get my truck back. I need it real bad for my pig business.
Well, this is a unique request, but let's give it a try. I don't think our listeners will mind. Go ahead and describe your truck. Maybe someone will spot it and call the authorities.
It's a red Ford truck with a white and red two-tone bed. They had a dual pin sitting on the trailer on the back of the truck with two fine hogs I was fixing to take over to the market this morning. If someone sees it, I'd be mighty grateful if they would call the police. Thank you kindly. My name is Melvin Collins.
We're sorry you've had such an experience this morning, Mr. Collins. Maybe one of our listeners can help you out. Let's go on to our next caller. Hello, you're on the phone with the Town Trader. Are you looking to buy, sell, or trade today?
Hello? Yeah, I called in earlier about a horse I had for sale and some tires. Well, I still have the tires, but I ain't got the horse no more. I just wanted to let you know so no one will be calling me and trying to buy it.
Well, thank you, sir. I'm happy we could help you sell that horse so quickly.
Oh, I didn't sell her. I traded her for a truck.
You traded your horse for a truck? Does something like that happen often in horse trading business?
Oh, no. This was unusual. See, I was fixing to take my horse out for a little exercise ride, and I thought to call you earlier. So I left her tied up at the front gate, see, and I came in to call. Now, while I was on the phone talking to you, this red and white truck ran off the road and through my fence and into the pasture. Now, this feller jumped out of the truck and came running over to me at the gate, seemed to be in a real hurry. Now, he said that I could have the truck and trailer if I would just let him have the horse in trade, as is, saddle and all. Said he'd mail me the truck title if and I'd agree. So I jotted down my address and gave it to him, and he jumped on the horse, took off in somewhat of a hurry like a Lone Ranger. So she ain't for sale no more. The horse, that is.
Well, thank you for the update on the horse, and now...
Well, hold on now, that ain't all. Since that deal came through with my horse, I got some more items for sale.
Well, sure, go right ahead.
All right, now I got this 12-foot trailer, okay? It's a portable animal pen. It's about 6 foot by 6 foot by 4 foot, and a couple of pigs for sale.
Did those pigs happen to come with the truck?
Oh, well, yes, they did. How'd you know that?
You should probably call the police and let them know that you have Mr. Collins' truck and that someone has stolen your horse.
What?
That's all we have time for here today on the Town Trader. Tune in tomorrow if you're looking to buy, sell, or trade, or if you're just looking for a little excitement. I promised you a poetry triple threat, and we have two more wonderful word weavers tonight. Welcome to our stage for the first time, Michael Johnson, and welcome back, Kathy Conrad.
Most of what I write about, I take from my family. It's an easy way to do it. This first one doesn't have a title, but it's kind of self-explanatory. Well, it's that time of year again when I am supposed to give you something to express my love. I was going to give you my heart, but when I started cutting, I only got as far as the breastbone, and the blood and pain were too much for me. I wanted to give you a piece of my mind, but there isn't much of that remaining these days. I would give you candy, but then you would accuse me of trying to break your diet. I would give you diamonds, but that would break the bank. I would take you on a cruise, but you don't have time since you work to support me. I was going to get roses, but the neighbor wasn't thrilled to find me in his garden. Besides, there's thorns on them. I thought about a card, but everybody does that. I considered a fancy dinner with music, but the jukebox at McDonald's was broke. So after a great amount of pondering over what to do, I have decided that the fact that our souls are so intertwined that I don't know where I stop and you begin, that giving you a Valentine will be like giving one to myself. This second one is a little longer, and one day my wife went to the beauty parlor, a new beautician who was going to get her hair done. And what happened was a catastrophe. So she came home, and I picked up pen and paper, and I wrote this. It's called Calico Hair. I have seen wonders and sights that defy the imagination. But have you ever seen love dressed in calico hair? Well, I did once. Not so long ago. It is amazing at what can happen when a little grain touches the head of a beautiful woman. She thinks she is losing her appeal in what she perceives to be her sensuality. Now comes the great turmoil she endures to regain what she supposed to be that youthful glow, foul-smelling concoctions of unknown origins and hues. And I'm not so sure just why they endure, but I am inclined to think that just maybe it is somewhat our doing, men. When was the last time you looked wistfully at her, as you did in days gone by, or as you think you are secretly doing when some young slim thing passes by, and all the while she sees and wonders what she has lost? She has not lost so much as she thinks. We just forget to tell them just how magnificently we really see them. And so out comes the bottles and bags and gloves and shampoos, mostly for us, you know, and it never fails in her effort to cause us to catch our breath at the sight of them. Something does not work, and just right there and then you get love in calico hair. I'm sorry, guys, but I'm married to the most wonderful woman in Campbell County. Matter of fact, the whole world. So these two are kind of self-explanatory. The first one is called Charlotte. The second one's Charlotte 2.0. The taste of your kiss lingers on my lips, and I close my eyes and see the sun play through your hair and dance across your face. I see the fire that is scattered through your eyes like flakes of gold, and if I listen, I can hear the gentle sound of your heart as if it were my own. I feel the warm softness of your breath as you sleep ever so close. The feel of your skin is always there, constantly on my fingertips, reminding me of your passion. I can feel it even now, you see. The taste of your kiss lingers on my lips. If I compare you to what do I use? If I use a rose, it will not do because the blush you have outdoes the rose. Should I use the sunset? I only know that the fire in your eyes is brighter by far. And what would I care to compare you? Morning dew? No, for the tenderness of your lips is purer still. To whom would I compare you? You are one of a kind, alone in your making. No, I cannot even, if I wanted, find anything or anyone to compare to you. Your love is original, your passion sublime,
and in your eyes I feel incomparable love. I have one more. I've been fighting a battle with illness, and the last week has been the most painful time I've ever experienced in my life. And I've been screaming at God, and out of those screams came this yesterday. My body is filled with pain. Pain, so much pain. I scream out, "Where are you, God?" My mind is enraged with so much anger, and again I scream, "Where are you, God?" Those I love gone from me, so alone am I at times. And again, I scream, "Where are you, God?" It seems that all I do is scream at God. And out of the stillness, he whispers, "I am here. I am here."
And now, Kathy Conrad. I dubbed this month's show Kathy's show because she was involved in so many pieces of it.
Thank you, Tony. I'm going to share with you some work by, many of you know her, Linda Jones Kimberlin, and a couple of my works that I wrote. I'm going to start with Linda's, and this is titled "The World of It All." Abused, misused, the world is confused. Alarmed, harmed, the world is disarmed. Detaining, retaining, the world is complaining. Stressing, confessing, the world is undressing. Unruly, misleading, the world hurts when she's bleeding. And everyone gets tie-dyed, the real warp side of it all. Linda Jones Kimberlin. And this is one that I wrote called Day's End, and it's more like a short story than typical poet style. But amid God's closing finale of golden blue and red, the quiet gurgling of a brook, the slam of the screen door, amid sighs of contentment, high above the green of the trees, in the air, a lone fiddler's tune could be heard, setting the folks' feet on the porch for an evening's rest to tapping. And here's another one by Linda Jones Kimberlin, and it is called The Devil's Grin. Shining up my lamplight, and guess what I saw? A great big grin bouncing off my wall. He looked directly at me, and this is what he said: "You think that light will shine for souls among the dead?" As I kept a-shining, the grin now had a face. I just kept a-shining, keeping myself paced. As the light grew brighter, I noticed all my walls. There were lots of grinning bouncing down the halls. The giggles turned to laughter, and to his surprise, I didn't budge an inch because I knew of the disguise. The grins now all had faces, wondering what I would do. Quietly I lifted my hands. Here's what I'm telling you. Jesus lives within me. This is God's house that ye be. He failed to see the angel that had stepped out in front of me. And one last little bit of work here by author. And it is called Wonder. Isn't it a wonder how the same kitchen chair you've sat in for years doesn't really change that quickly? But you do, and circumstances do. You can be in a completely different place from one chair sitting to the next. Life and time seems like soil, slips right through your fingers, and you get from it what you put in it. So I figure with the uncertainty of it all, better to put your hands out in love to give it and receive it. Most importantly, know that what's coming is going to be better. And never forget who blazed that path so you could one day be eternally home.
Thanks, Michael Johnson and Kathy Conrad. On our first Postmark Jamboree, we featured these young ladies. We're proud to have them back with us tonight. Anaya, Ayana, and Aaliyah Roberts.
but you don't really care for music, do ya? Well, it goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, and the major lift, the baffled king composing hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Well, your faith was strong, but you needed proof. You saw her bathing on the roof, her beauty in the moonlight overthrew ya. She tied you to her kitchen chair, she broke your throne, and she cut your hair, and from your lips she drew the hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah. There's a God above, but all I've ever learned from love was how to shoot somebody who outdrew ya. It's not a cry that you hear at night. It's not someone who's seen the light. It's a cold and it's a broken hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Hallelujah,
Good job. Now I think we've got a couple of solo tunes, is that correct? All right. Isn't technology wonderful?
What are you doing?
When it works, it is.
It ain't? I never do that.
when I walk through deep waters, I know that you will be with me. When I'm standing in the fire, I will not be overcome. Through the valley of the shadow, I
sister. Unfortunately, our technology has failed us tonight, so we're going to call our other sister over here. She has some good technology, her mouth. Come on, Aaliyah. Grab a microphone. Aaliyah likes to ask interesting questions. So ask the questions, and we'll see if our audience get really close to that microphone. What's your first question? We need some answers from the audience, too.
What do you call a dog with no legs?
What do you call a dog with no legs?
Don't matter, he ain't coming. I just got attacked by a dairy cow. How dare he?
That's so moving.
What do you call a happy cowboy?
A happy cowboy. We had a cowboy poet here last month. He was pretty happy. What do you call a happy cowboy?
A jolly rancher. What do you get when you put a candle in a suit of armor?
Ooh, what do you get when you put a candle in a suit of armor?
A nightlight.
Oh.
What do you call a singing vegetable?
Good question. Anybody got an answer?
Elvis Parsley. Is this thing on?
Yeah, it's on.
What did the mom cow say to the baby cow?
What did the mom cow say to the baby cow?
It's past your bedtime. What do you call a cow you can't see?
Ooh, good question.
Camouflaged. How do you make a milkshake?
How do you make a milkshake?
You give a cow a pogo stick. What do you call a cow who works for a gardener?
A cow who works for a gardener.
A lawn mower.
Good job, thank you. That's all we have time for this evening on the Postmark Jamboree. We thank you for tuning in and ask you to be sure to tune in again next month on the third Saturday of the month, October 20th at 7 p.m. for our next broadcast. Or come out and join us live here in our audience at the West La Follette Community Center in La Follette, Tennessee. All of us here at Postmark Jamboree would like to thank our sponsors, Postmark La Follette, WLAF Radio, the Tennessee Arts Commission, the City of La Follette, Community Trust Bank, United Cumberland Bank, and the Tennessee State Senator Ken Yeager. Thanks to Tony Thomas, the Roberts sisters, Lacey Gross, David Brubaker, Michael Johnson, the Faces Made for Radio players, Sean Manis, Olivia Robbins, Kathy Conrad, Garrett Morton, Lacey Gross, and a host of volunteers that made this show possible here tonight. Sound effects and ambient sounds obtained from Zapsplat.com. The background song Walking Along, provided by Kevin McLeod at Incompetech.com. Take us out, band. Special delivery. Thank you all for coming out tonight.